Hey everybody, I am Goose. You're watching On With the Show, and today, if you haven't already, you can see the Disney wearing the Mickey Mouse hat. This is actually my wife's hat. I bought it for her. We're going to talk about that that viral incident that's going around, not just online. It's going on everywhere. Talking about the teenager that decided to jump out of the log on Tiana's By N8ture just as it was going down the 50-foot drop. It is making the rounds. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell you that I even talked to my son, who is currently in Bosnia. He's in Bosnia on a missions trip, and they're talking about it there also. So this is a worldwide thing. He heard about it on Google. I'm going to talk about it here on With the Show. So let me switch over to the OBS, and we're going to get on with the show. And here we go from the LA Times. Teen falls 50 feet on Disneyland ride with no belts or lap bar. State finds no operational issues. We're going to get into that in a minute. This is written by Hannah Fry, staff writer for the LA Times, on the 24th, which was yesterday. And it says, a state agency tasked with inspecting theme park rides found no operational issues with Tiana's Bayou Adventure after a 13-year-old climbed out of the Disneyland log flume ride and fell 50 feet over the weekend. California's Division of Occupational Safety and Health, amusement park ride and tramway unit, basically OSHA, inspected the attraction after the incident, which occurred Sunday at around 6 p.m., and approved it to reopen, according to the agency and Disneyland officials. Disneyland officials said said that the teen climbed out of the boat in the flume or channel that takes guests through Tiana's Bayou before the ride was over. The dramatic footage, and we're going to go into that in just a little bit, was obtained by TMZ. I have it from another source. It shows the boy falling head first down the ride's 50-foot waterfall just behind the flume after he had exited Disneyland. Employees immediately stopped the ride, which remained closed until Monday. The boy was taken to the local hospital, was later released, probably given a good tongue lashing. It is not clear why the teen tried to exit the ride so early. I will get into that. It sounds like my phone behind me is going off. I'll get into that. I'll answer that after I'm all done here. But it's not the first time someone has scurried from the log flume ride attraction at a theme park. In 2000, a 37-year-old man died after he climbed out of the log flume on Splash Mountain in Magic Kingdom, was struck by another passenger boat. I do remember that. Disneyland officials did not answer questions sent via email from the Times about whether the theme park is considering adding additional safety measures to Tiana's Bayou Adventure. There was the number one question. The number one question that came out after he jumped out. Why are there no seatbelts on here? And I'll explain that in just a little bit. The ride, for which for years was on Splash Mountain, reimagined the 2024 inspired for Princess Frog, blah, blah, blah. Lack of safety harnesses is typical for log flume rides, which is true, because if you go on log flume rides in other parks, they don't have them either, because of the risk of the boats overturning in the water, trapping guests, who specializes in operational safety and risks. People have gotten out before. He said oftentimes they get out in a panic. Sometimes they just don't process what's going on, and there's a cognitive issue or behavioral factor. But the belief has always been that it's less likely someone is going to suffer a severe injury as a result of leaving the log flume. It is unclear whether the 13-year-old was injured after the park's officials took precautions evaluated at a local hospital. I'm going to go, Avery said the incident could spur additional safety measures on the ride. He's long advocated for lap belts or safety harnesses on theme parks rides, but another alternative could be having an attendant at the top of the lift hill monitoring each rider to ensure they can intervene if it looks like someone's trying to get out of the vessel. I don't think everyone involved at a minimum needs to reflect or reevaluate what should be done going forward. Let's go to the news. This is from KTLA. I go to them a lot.
At Disneyland over the weekend, a 13-year-old boy climbed out of a moving vehicle at Tiana's Bayou Adventure, then fell 50 feet down the attraction's waterfall.
K25's Annie Rose Ramos live from Anaheim with video of the incident. Annie Rose, good morning.
Hey guys, good morning to you both. We're going to show you that video in just a moment, but first, park officials saying that 13-year-old boy was taken to the hospital purely as a precaution. He was not seriously hurt and has since been released from the hospital. But this comes after park officials say that he got off a moving ride and took a tumble down a 50-foot waterfall.
At least they should have some seat belts, something to hook them on there to stay secure while they're going down that ride, you know, especially for kids who are, you know, sometimes they need to move or they need to, you know, they can't sit still.
All right, here's that video we were talking about.
So let me pause this for a minute as I take for some reason, I take the subtitles off and they still come back on.
Moment, a
Here we go.
13-year-old Disneyland guest
So watch this. Look at this.
Over the waterfall on Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
So he's going down.
This is formerly known as.
So let's back that up. Let's look at this again really, really quick. Because I'm going to take this. Here he is. He's at the top. He's jumped out. I don't know what he was thinking, if he was jumping out here or what. But if you look,
a 13-year-old Disneyland guest went over the waterfall on Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
There he goes. He's going down head first.
Splash Mountain inside the Southern California
Dun,
theme park.
dun, dun, dun,
The
dun.
teen boy appeared to be in the back of the ride car as it approached the iconic 50-foot drop when he suddenly tried to get out, and footage captured Sunday and obtained by TMZ. The video then shows the boy plunge down the water track to the bottom base of the ride.
Now, I'm going to explain to you because I think something else was going on with this, and I don't think this kid saw it through because of the way the ride is designed. I'll show you that in just a minute. Let's just finish this video. It's about a minute left.
We showed this video to some of the park's visitors yesterday.
And it looks like he took a real good tumble, too.
Wow. As a mother, oh my God. I'm just not even, I'm in shock. That's crazy.
Oh my God, that's insane. I cannot believe that happened. Oh my God, that's so scary.
And Disney employees witnessed the incident, and in a statement, Disney said, quote, a 13-year-old guest riding Tiana's Bayou Adventure exited the ride vehicle prior to the end of the attraction. A cast member immediately stopped the attraction. Now back here live, we're just about a block from Disneyland. You can kind of see the ride, one of the rides from California Adventureland behind me. So we're steps away from the theme park. We understand Tiana's Bayou Adventure, that ride has since opened, but we also understand from Disney officials that California's OSHA, they're the group that investigates rides, makes sure rides are safety, issues permits at adventure parks like this one. They have been here, investigated this issue, and said they have found no issues with this ride. Guys, back to you.
So it's not the ride. It was the rider that they had a problem with. Let me show you a picture of this because I don't think this kid saw the. What I think happened is that I think he wanted to sit there and go, I'm going to be the first kid, the first teenager to jump out. I'm going to slide on my butt all the way down Tiana's Bayou Adventure behind the log. I'm going to get clout. I'm going to be on the, and I don't think he saw this through because let me show you a picture. This is from Boston 25's news post on Facebook. If you can look at this, the way it's designed is that it has these little bumps, these little risers. It gives it that waterfall effect. It gives it that waterfall effect to make it look like the water's going down the way it is. And so if he decided I'm going to jump out and slide all the way down, he hit these all the way down with his face, with his butt, with whatever. Let me show you. Let me show you this other video. This is from WESH. I don't know where they're located. This also talks about, and this gives you a better idea of how the ride looks. This is only about a minute long.
Well, if you've been to Magic Kingdom, you're probably familiar.
And you can see right there. Look at it. Look at how the waterfall. It's kind of deceiving because the water's coming down, and it looks like it's just a straight drop. It looks like there's nothing there.
With this drop, it's on Tiana's Bayou Adventure, formerly known as Splash Mountain. Well, one kid in Disneyland decided he wasn't ready for that 50-foot drop.
This just made my heart stop listening to this. He reportedly jumped off the ride early, but the 13-year-old ended up tumbling down the waterfall anyway. NBC News got this photo of guests looking.
Now look at it from here. Look at this is from after this is from after where the kid came down. Look at how this is designed. It's designed to where you have these little risers, and it's also designed like that so that it helps keep the log up, not tilted up, but up, so that when it hits the water, it gets that big splash. And so he went down there and he hit every one of these on the way down. Bang, 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 until he hit the tunnel on the way down.
On at the waterfall right after the teenager fell. Cast members immediately stopped the ride. We're told.
I'm going to back this up because now that I've blown this up, you can see it's a better look. Look at this. All of this, he hit that all the way down after he jumped. And this is right after he had jumped out.
Cast members immediately stopped the ride. We're told the boy was taken to the hospital as a precaution, but has since been released. So essentially, he just tumbled down.
And again, here's a better look at it from. This is the illusion. This is what people see. That's not necessarily how it works. People think that there's a nice smooth slide going down. That's not how this works. It's got wheels and riders on both sides to help guide it on the way down.
It's incredible that he's okay. The ride reopened the following day after state investigators found there were no operational issues. It is worth noting that Magic Kingdom's version of the ride has a lap bar, so we do have that in place here, while Disneyland's has no restraints.
So the ones at Disney World have lap bars, which prevents people from getting out. So I remember the guy was talking about how the one father was talking, well, maybe they should have like seatbelts or something. That doesn't necessarily mean anything. Let me show you footage. This is from the John Collins Palmer. This is from his YouTube channel. He got caught on Tower of Terror taking his seatbelts off. Let me show you. And I don't know if you'll be able to see this because it's a dark ride. But you can see right here, they're at the top. And again, it's in the dark because it's part of the Tower of Terror. But you can see right there, he is taking his seatbelt off. He has taken his seatbelt off. Now, in my opinion, I think they should make it to where the seatbelts lock in so you can't take the seatbelts off. But he took his seatbelt off on the Tower of Terror where you're going up and down and up and down, up and down. And I guess what John didn't realize was that they actually have cameras in these ride vehicles. So that's how he got caught. And of course, if you get caught doing something unsafe, it's not the park's fault, it's your fault. Well, maybe back that up. So look at this. I want you to see this real quick. Look how much height. That's the reason he took his seatbelt off. That's where his butt is supposed to be in this seat, and he took it out, and he's like floating in the air. And of course, they take a picture of it, so now now they got evidence that you weren't wearing your belt. Look how much we got caught not wearing our seatbelts, so they stopped the ride. Yep, that's what they'll do. They got caught not wearing their belts, so they stopped the ride. So there's not even a guarantee that even if they put lap bars on, it'd be a different story. They might do that. I could see them doing that for the Disneyland ride. I'm kind of surprised they hadn't done this before. I think it's because California has different safety laws than Florida does. That's quite the possibility. But the fact that OSHA went out there, California OSHA went out there and they're like, yeah, everything's fine. This was not a ride error. This was a rider error. And we've been seeing a lot of that lately in Disney parks where people are getting out of the rides for some strange and stupid reason. I showed you just a few weeks ago of a guy who fell in the water on Living with the Land. And those boats are the slowest boats on the history, of Disney rides. And yet he fell in the water. But we're having more and more people doing this. I'm going to pause this here. I'm going to give my opinion on the other side of this. I know exactly, I think my opinion, I think I know exactly what's wrong with this. Let me just close out the OBS and let me get you on the other side of this. Okay, so in my opinion of what I think happened, I think one or two theories. I've talked to a few people about this. My theory is that I think this kid did it for clout. I think he did it because he wanted to be one of these that wanted somebody that got out and slid down the 50-foot drop on his butt. That's what he wanted to do, not realizing what is actually going, how the ride is actually designed. I think he jumped out so that, hey, I did this incredible thing. And, being 13, I remember when I was 13 years old, a long time ago, and I did stupid things too. I didn't jump out of a long flume ride, but I did stupid things. 13-year-olds do stupid things. And I think that that's basically it. Because we are now of a society where we do stupid stunts to try to get clout and to try to get fame and to try to, yes, I did that. It was great. Not realizing that he could have died. He could have had a serious concussion. He could have broken his neck. Any number of things. One person did bring up an interesting theory, and their theory was that I guess from what they heard or what they think is that he stood up for the picture. You know how they take a picture just as you're coming down, and he wanted to stand up, and when he stood up, he lost his footing and fell over, and then went on down the log. That's quite possible too. I wouldn't. Again, that would all be for clout and clicks and fame, and it's like, oh, I did this great thing. That's what I think happened. I think that he wanted to show off for somebody and jumped out or maybe he jumped out so that he could stand on the top of the freaking hill. Who knows? And then he was going to slide down on his butt, not realizing the design of the ride. But he did, of course, being 13 years old, didn't plan it out right, didn't think it out right, and went all the way down the drop. And of course, then you run the risk of the fact that the Disney employees saw it, immediately stopped the ride. That was smart on them, because there is a life. If you've ever been on the ride, there was footage of I've had footage of where people have gone up there's a log behind the log going up the hill. The fact that they stopped the ride just as this happened is quite amazing, and leave it to those cast members who were on the ball to make sure that nothing else happened. Because if he had fallen and another log had come down, he'd have been either run over, he'd have been pinned between two logs, something even more serious could have happened. And again, I think a lot of people are they're seeing, in my opinion, I think they're seeing the wrong side of this. They're, oh my gosh, he must have been scared. Oh my gosh, and let me, even as an adult, you look down, oh my gosh, that's a steep drop. You know, and I've gone down that ride. I've done, Splash Mountain was my favorite ride. Okay, I've ridden Tiana's. I like Tiana's. I make no comparisons other than one was, they're two different rides. Same ride type vehicle, they're two different rides. But I don't think that he was terrified or scared or he jumped out because, oh my gosh, he was sitting in the back, I think, for a reason. I think he was sitting in the back for a reason so that he could get out of the ride. You jump out of the ride. We've seen, I did a podcast not too long ago where people, you know, they're starting to crack down on live streamers. They're starting to crack down on people who have their phones out while they're riding and they lose their phone. They showed one guy getting off the Big Thunder Mountain. Just as it's climbing up, he just steps out, goes down, and this stops the whole ride. You know, Disney has been saying that the problem that they've been having at their parks are some of these. It's not the live streamers, it's not the vloggers, it's these people who want to get these great events for their TikTok. And who knows? We might find out later on that that's exactly what he was doing. He was doing it for the TikTok, and it went horribly wrong. I don't think that this was an accident. I think this was something he planned. And I think later on we're going to find that out. I don't think we're going to find out right away. I think what's going to basically happen is a lot of this is going to probably try to go away. And the problem is going to be that more and more people are going to talk about it so much. People like me are going to question, why did he jump out of the flume? Why did he jump out of the log? But as they were saying, the one in Magic Kingdom, I've ridden that one too, does have a lap bar. And the ride is structured a little differently than the one in Disneyland. And so I think that they also, and again, I think the safety, I think that's because that the laws in Florida are, again, they're different in California. The OSHA guy said there was nothing wrong with the ride and it reopened. You know, I think Monday or Tuesday. So, and basically saying it was rider error. It wasn't the ride, it was the rider, is what they're saying with this. It is just kind of crazy because just because you may put seatbelts on there, again, just seeing the idiot from Tower of Terror, doesn't mean that they're not going to take the seatbelts off. It actually would probably have to be a lap bar. And the other thing with that is that the biggest difference between Florida and California is that California has single seats. Florida, I think, has dual seats. I think they have dual seats where you sit next to each other, unlike California, who has single seats. But I'll have to look more into that and find out this. I mean, I've ridden both. I just not remember exactly off the top of my head, how that works out. Anyway, I just wanted to bring that and talk to you about that today. I thought that was one of the craziest videos that I'd seen in a long time. And I wanted to talk about it because, again, I think that we have so many crazy people trying to do crazy things at amusement parks that they're going to do stupid things to try to gain attention to themselves, and they're going to have it for the TikTok, and they're going to go viral. And oh my gosh, If you haven't already, go down and subscribe to the channel. Bang that bell for notifications. Bang, bang, bang the bell for notifications, so you always know when new videos are uploaded. Give me a big like on the video. Let me know that you like that this is the kind of topic that you like. Plus, it does help me with the algorithm. Share this out to your friends, family, and neighbors. Let them know what I'm doing over here on with the show. And leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about this whole thing. Let me know what you think about this whole craziness at Disneyland. The kid jumping out on the log flume, and what do you think is going to happen? Obviously, he's going to be banned for life. I mean, after he gets out of the hospital. He will no longer be able to go to Disneyland. But until then, I am Goose. You've been watching On With The Show. Thank you so much for watching today. I will see you all on the other side.